Joyce woke up to the sound of another woman's laughter coming from her own living room. She lay still in bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to remember when everything went wrong. 5 years of marriage, and it felt like she was living in a nightmare that never ended. 5 years and no children. Even though the doctor said there was nothing wrong with either of them, but Jason used it against her anyway. He called her broken. He called her useless. He said she couldn't even do the one thing a woman was supposed to do. Joyce thought back to their college days when Jason was different. He was the boy who walked her to class every morning. The boy who absolutely loved and adored her. They built their life from nothing. Joyce worked 2 jobs to help pay for Jason's final year when his scholarship fell through. She told herself it was temporary. She told herself they were a team. After graduation, Jason got a good job. He promised they would build their future together. But the promises faded like smoke. Instead, the cruelty started small. A mean comment here, a pushed shoulder there. Then it grew. He started coming home late smelling like perfume that wasn't hers. When she asked questions, he slapped her. When she cried, he slapped her harder. The first time he hit her, Joyce thought it was a mistake. The second time, she thought he was stressed from work. By the 10th time, she stopped counting. She stopped making excuses, but she didn't leave. Her mother called every week, begging her to come home. Her best friend, Sarah, came by with pamphlets for women's shelters. Even Jason's own sister pulled her aside at family gatherings and whispered that she deserved better. But Joyce stayed. She believed that people who did bad things eventually paid for it. She believed that Jason would wake up one day and realize what he had done. She believed that karma was real and it was coming for him. She just had to wait. The laughter from the living room got louder. Joyce recognized the sound of expensive heels clicking on their tile floor. This wasn't the first woman Jason had brought home, but it was the first time he didn't bother hiding it. The first time he brought someone into their home while Joyce was still there. She pulled the blanket over her head and waited for karma to come. Jason stopped pretending to care about Joyce's feelings. He brought women home on weekends, on weekdays. Sometimes, even when Joyce was cooking dinner, they laughed at her. They looked at her with pity or disgust. Jason didn't even bother introducing them anymore. Joyce moved through her days like a ghost. She cleaned the house. She cooked meals that Jason barely touched. She wore long sleeves to hide the bruises. At night, she searched the internet for stories about cheaters who got caught, abusers who lost everything, bad husbands who ended up alone and miserable. She needed to believe that Jason's day was coming. Her friend Sarah stopped visiting after Jason screamed at her to mind her own business. Her mother cried on the phone and begged Joyce to come home. Her younger sister showed up one afternoon with her suitcase and told Joyce the car was running outside. All she had to do was walk out the door. But Joyce couldn't move. She had invested too much. She had given up too much. Walking away felt like admitting that all her sacrifices meant nothing. So she stayed and waited for the universe to balance things out. She waited for Jason to get fired. She waited for one of his girlfriends to embarrass him publicly. She waited for him to get sick or hurt or exposed. She waited for anything that would prove that bad people don't win forever. Instead, Jason got promoted. His boss loved him. His co-workers thought he was charming. His family still invited him to every holiday dinner and treated him like a golden child. The women he dated didn't cause drama. They simply came and left. And Jason moved on to the next one without consequence. Joyce started praying. She had never been particularly religious, but desperation made her believe in something bigger. She prayed every morning that today would be the day. Today, Jason would face consequences. Today, karma would finally show up. But karma never came. 6 months after the first woman walked through their door, Jason came home with papers, divorce papers. He threw them at Joyce and told her she had 1 week to get out. He said he was tired of looking at her face. He said she was dead weight. He said he already had someone better moving in. Joyce signed the papers with shaking hands. She did not have the energy to fight for anything. She had nowhere to go and no money of her own. She packed 2 bags of clothes and left behind the life she had built with her bare hands. As she walked out the door for the last time, she looked back at Jason. He was on the phone laughing with someone, already forgetting she existed. She was still waiting for karma. 2 years passed and Joyce was still waiting. She moved back in with her mother in an apartment across town. She found work at a grocery store, scanning items and bagging groceries for minimum wage. Every muscle in her body hurt at the end of each shift. She couldn't afford her own place. She couldn't afford much of anything. At 36 years old, she was starting from zero. At night, she checked Jason's social media. She knew she shouldn't, but she couldn't stop herself. She needed to see that he was suffering. She needed proof that the universe was fair. But Jason was thriving. He got another promotion at work and bought a bigger house. He posted pictures from expensive restaurants and beach vacations. The woman he left Joyce for was beautiful and young and smiled in every photo. They looked happy. They looked perfect. Joyce saw him once at a shopping mall. He was holding hands with his new girlfriend, laughing at something she said. He looked healthy. He looked successful. He looked like a man who had never hurt anyone in his entire life. He walked right past Joyce without even recognizing her. She went home and cried until her throat was raw. Where was karma? Where was justice? Where was the punishment for everything he had done? Her mother held her that night and said something Joyce didn't want to hear. Sometimes bad people win. Sometimes they never pay for what they did. Sometimes the only person suffering is the one who stayed waiting for revenge that never comes. Joyce thought about all the years she wasted. She thought about how she let Jason destroy her because she believed that staying would somehow be worth it in the end. She believed the universe kept score. She believed that her pain would be balanced out by his pain eventually. But life didn't work that way. Jason moved on and lived well. He probably never thought about her anymore. He probably slept fine at night. Meanwhile, Joyce was the one who couldn't sleep. Joyce was the one with scars. Joyce was the one who lost years of her life waiting for something that was never going to happen. The truth was ugly and unfair. Karma wasn't coming. Never was. Jason would probably leave a long happy life and never face a single consequence for what he did to her. And Joyce had to find a way to leave with that. She stopped checking his social media. She stopped waiting. She started seeing a therapist who helped her understand that leaving should have never been about karma. It should have been about saving herself. Joyce would never get those years back. She would never get an apology. She would never get justice. But slowly, painfully, she started to build something new. Not because the universe owed her anything, but because she finally realized that waiting for karma was just another way of letting Jason control her life. Some people do terrible things and never pay for it. That was the lesson Joyce learned too late. And it was a lesson that cost her everything. Kindly share the story out with your loved ones and give the story a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring the next story your way. Bye.